Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have another episode in our Spoiler Spotlight series in which I talk about, well, spoilers and tell you what my thoughts are on them. But before that, just a quick reminder to click subscribe if you enjoy my videos. We're well on our way to 1 million subscribers and your support means everything to me. And today we're going to be talking about Ojer Pakpatiq, Deepest Epoch. For 2 colorless and 2 blue, it's a legendary creature god for 3 with flying, and whenever you cast an instant spell from your hand, it gains rebound, which means exile it as it resolves. At the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast it from exile without paying its mana cost, and when Ojer Pakpatiq dies, return it to the battlefield tapped and transformed under its owner's control with 3 time counters on it. On the flip side, it's Temple of Cyclical Time, a land that taps for 1 blue, and remove a time counter from Temple of Cyclical Time, and 2 colorless and 1 blue, tap Transform Temple of Cyclical Time, activate only if it has no time counters on it and only as a sorcery. So this is a super interesting design. I didn't expect to see a rebound card in this set, but it's kind of cool that Wizards is using these old mechanics sparingly now, every now and then in different sets, so that we can get cards that fit more flavorfully with what they want to do and they don't feel as restricted by only being able to use the set's mechanics. It does raise the complexity of the game a little bit for newer players, particularly people attending a pre-release for the first time maybe, but overall I think it's a good idea and it doesn't do too much damage. Now talking about this card itself, obviously a 4/3/5 for 4 is already pretty acceptable, but the ability is where it's at. Giving all of the instants you cast from your hand rebound is huge. You're just doubling up on instants, and there's not really much building around you need to do at all. All you need to do is just play them for your hand. It doesn't matter if you play them during your turn or during your opponent's turn, and even if this gets killed, that spell is still going to rebound because it gained the rebound ability as soon as you cast it. As for the flip side, transforming with 3 time counters is interesting. It does mean that this one is the slowest one to flip out of all the gods because you have no control really other than just tapping it for mana 3 times, although we'll come back to that in a moment. But the other gods all have a little bit more control over how you can flip them. You can kind of work towards meeting the condition. With this one, you just have to tap the land 3 times. That, however, is very easy to achieve because you don't require anything else than to just use this land for mana, and eventually it's going to flip back. Keyword being eventually, because it will take a while. Why was I saying that you might actually have some control over how this flips? That's because these things are time counters. Now, we just recently received a mechanic in the Doctor Who set that is time travel, which is going to allow us to remove a time counter for this every time we time travel. And that's why I think this card is going to fit so well with all of those suspend decks and all of those decks that are looking to use time counters. Those decks are also very interested in instants in the first place, seeing as they're playing a lot of different cards that can kind of cause time travel or just do different things at instant speed, and having this being able to flip back over much faster than it would otherwise seems very, very good in those decks. In particular, I'm super excited for this in my 12th Doctor deck because that deck wants to be casting stuff from exile in order to demonstrate it. Rebound actually casts the spell from exile. That's basically going to mean that every instant we cast is then going to be able to be cast again from exile at the beginning of our upkeep. That means that we can instantly demonstrate that instant at the beginning of our turn, which is really sweet with the Doctor. It gives us a lot more control and a lot more ways to enable his ability. But I think this card is going to reach much further than just specific niche decks like the 12th Doctor. It's actually very solid in any deck that's looking to play at instant speed. If you're playing something like Calamax, you're obviously going to be very interested in this because it's going to allow you to recast that instant spell, which is very, very nice. Nimris is obviously going to love this card because that deck plays almost exclusively at instant speed and has a lot of instants in it. So being able to reuse this ability and double up on your removal or your card draw or all sorts of things is really, really powerful. A card that really stands out with this is something like Nexus of Fate. That's obviously insane with this because you're going to immediately take the extra turn and then you're going to get another extra turn with the rebounded spell. That's obviously super strong and it might allow you to just finish the game on the spot if you can cast it. So yeah, there's all sorts of incredibly powerful effects that you can use with this to get extra turns or to get all sorts of extra resources, and just rebounding all of your instances is a crazy powerful effect. So there you have it. Those have been my thoughts on this new spoiler. What do you think about this card? Please let me know in the comment section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care.